You're listening to Ask When, the podcast. Folks from all walks of life talk about their daily hustle and bustle, living and celebrating life, sharing tips on becoming champions, especially for those who are muscling mental and physical disabilities. Ask When, the podcast, with your host who has mustered over 30 years living with cerebral palsy and going strong. Author and cerebral palsy advocate Wynn Charles. Ask When, the podcast starts right now.
Welcome to Ask When, everyone. I have Michael with me, and I'm going to let Michael take it away and explain more about what he does. Then I'll be asking him a couple baseline questions, and we'll just have a natural conversation like we always do. So welcome, Michael.
Hi, thank you for having me. It's awesome. It's an honor and a privilege to be here with you.
Well, you are so welcome. And so if you could explain to my fan base more about what you do.
Whew. Man, that's normally such a simple question, but with me, I always make it so difficult. I like to do, I have my hands in a lot of different jars because ever since I started doing a lot of things, I stopped getting in any trouble. So I have multiple businesses, everything from like a food truck, a catering company, a landscape company, property management company, a counseling agency, a nonprofit, and a motivation inspirational company that has coaches, strategists, things of that nature on it. We do different programs and courses and guides. Really what we're trying to do is just let everyone live the best life they possibly can as the best version of themselves. My dream is to end suicide. It's been impacted my life multiple times. So it's my dream. Why I say that is because I pay homage to Martin Luther King. He said he had a dream, understanding that he might not complete it in his time, but he's going to get the ball rolling so it can be completed at some time. And I believe we can do that through deeper levels of connection. So everything we're doing is trying to build relationships and build deeper level connections with people and things.
Wow. And why are you on this very powerful mission to end suicide?
What was that? What was the question?
Why did you want to be on this powerful mission to end suicide? Did you think about committing suicide yourself, or did you have a family member try, or what?
Okay, so this actually, suicide has impacted my life multiple times. One, my brother is one of the 22 year a day that served the United States that took his own life. He did that in the 90s. In 2011, one of my good buddies, one of my best friends, was supposed to stand up with me in my wedding, also took his own life. Shortly after that, I almost did and did not. So suicide has impacted my life in multiple ways from people I do know, and self-injurious behaviors have affected my life in multiple ways. So from people I do know, from family members, from people I love and hold dear to me, from good friends. So now that's become my life work. My life work is, my dream is to do that now. We do that many different ways, do many different services that we try to offer. But at the end of the day, that's my dream, is to end suicide.
And so, with everything that's going on right now, and please, you guys, please, if you have, and I wish I had the suicide hotline on me, and maybe someone can hand it to me and I'll put it in the show notes. Maybe I'll tell my assistant to look it up and put it in the show notes. Because with everything going on right now, aka the little annoying coronavirus, I don't want you guys to be taken down by the coronavirus, or I don't want you guys to be taken down by suicide, because that's not fun. That's not fun, you guys. And that's why I want Michael on the show to speak of his story and speak of his life mission.
Thank you.
So,
the help. Sorry.
Go ahead.
The helpline is 1-800-273-8255.
I knew you would have it. I knew you would have it. I knew you would have it. So repeat that one more time, and then I'm going to ask you for the helpline number at the end of the show so people can get a clear understanding of what the helpline number is.
You got it. 1-800-273-8255.
1-800-273-8255. And that's the suicide hotline number, and they are open 24/7. And it's not a state-to-state thing; it's a general hotline. And even when I call my counseling office, yes, I'm going to counseling, and they say one of the things they say, um, if this is a medical emergency, please hang up, dial 911. If this is a mental health crisis, please press 1 to be connected to the Colorado mental health line. And so, yeah, don't do what you want to do. Just stay focused on everyday life right now, even though everyday life isn't normal.
All right. That's one of the biggest things is the isolation. Feeling isolated is part of the 3 needs to commit suicide, they say. So it's how can we not feel isolated during a time when we're isolated? And that's how can we create Zooms for friends to gather together and have socials? How can you create, hangouts without being in person, so you still have that connection, that relationship, and that togetherness, without being able to be right next to each other or go hang out at your local spot or be able to have a barbecue in your backyard? How can we still get the feeling we need from those events without having those events? And that's one of the things. Make the phone call, right? Like do the FaceTime, do the Zooms, do the Facebook Live, whatever it is. But do those things to keep those relationships going and to still have that connection with other people. So we're not alone in this. Everybody's going through it. So let's not act like we are.
I definitely agree. And I'm just going to put my phone on Do Not Disturb so we can have a peaceful conversation. And there we go. So I definitely agree with you, Mike. Set up a Zoom, you guys, and I'll teach you guys how to do that. If you guys don't know what Zoom is actually a platform for teleconferencing. And yeah, and so I was just in the Zoom. I've been in plenty of Zoom meetings, and so I know how to set it up. So reach out to me, and I'll be happy to help you guys set it up. But yeah, isolation is one of those things that can lead to suicide. So now, Mike, if you had to move, and yes, we're talking about moving house, and only could bring 3 things, what would they be?
Whew. If I could only take 3 things, the first would be a pocket watch I wear with my suit when I wear my suit. And why is because it's my father's pocket watch. It's one of the few things I got of his. He passed away when I was younger. And it reminds me of humble beginnings and where I came from and what I stand for. So I would need that with me to remember the strength that my family members have went through and things we've done. So I know I can get through moving and only taking 3 things. Plus, I'd be able to tell time, which would be huge.
Yeah. Yes.
The second thing, I would take my brother's army bag that he carried his uniforms and equipment in. One is because it keeps me close to him, but also 2, along the way, I could collect things in the journey and put it in there. So I'd be able to carry things along the move. And then number 3, this is a good one. And all people are out, right? Like people and animals are. I don't have to do that.
People are not out. Animals are not out. You could bring a cat. You can bring
Oh, okay.
Anything.
Then I'm grabbing everybody in there. Like
Yes.
we're all going together.
Yes.
I'm not leaving anyone behind.
We're all going together here. I
All
mean,
right.
geez. I mean, people. When I asked that question to you guys, people are not out of the equation. Of course, you need people because
Hey, that's why I asked.
even though we're dealing with social distancing right now, of course, you need people to help you.
Dang right, 100%. If I can include them, I'm bringing my people with me.
Yeah, bring people and bring the animals with you. I mean, for the
I got a lot
longest
of
time,
animals.
I thought that service animals were nuts, but I'm like, now since this whole coronavirus thing, I'm like, maybe I should look differently at the animals aspect because animals will keep you company as well.
Dang right. And I have a lot of animals, so I'm with you. I got 12 horses,
Oh,
donkeys,
yes.
6 goats, 6
12,
ducks, 8 dogs. Yep. So
12,
I got a farm.
yeah, 12 donkeys, you say?
Yeah, 12 horses, 2 donkeys.
12 horses. Oh my goodness. You do have the farm. Because
I have a farm.
yeah, you do have the farm. And any of those animals, all kidding aside, are any of those animals emotional support animals?
They all are. We run EGALA, which is equine assistant therapy. So
Okay,
they're all support and therapy animals.
okay. So they are for those of you that don't know equine assistant therapy, and I should get into this, but that's when you put a person with, let's use cerebral palsy as an example. That's when you put a person with cerebral palsy on horseback, and they can do different exercises on the actual horse and on the ground, and it's a really wonderful thing. My girlfriend and my assistant actually does it, and right now she can't do it because of social distancing and because of lockdown. But as soon as all this is over, we're gonna be back to normal daily life, and equine therapy is. I'm a huge fan of equine therapy.
Nice. Very good. Same here. Does a lot of great things.
Yeah, yeah. So equine therapy is the best thing ever. So now, if you had, what is your favorite book and what is the title?
Whew. You know, when I was thinking about this, I actually asked, um, when this is such a tough question. One book. I like that's a tough question. And people really give you just one book?
They have, they
That's
have.
so hard. There's so many great books. And I'm not even thinking about my own. I'm literally thinking just about other people's books. There are some great books. But I'll go, if you make me pick one that I take with me and just, that's the book I get to read. Golly, I'm going to go Art of War. I'm still debating that literally till I answer it, but I'm going to go Art of War because it just goes
Yep.
into the understanding of yourself and understanding of others so deep. And no matter what you want to do, if you want to create a movement, if you want to sell a product, if you want deep relationships, you have to be willing to understand other people at deep levels.
Yep. But Art of One is for Mike. And if your best friend was going to write a book about you, what would the title be?
If I was going to write a book,
No, if your best friend was going to write a book about
ooh,
you,
what would it?
what would
Oh,
the
about
title
me?
be?
True. Holy Snikes, he made it.
Yep, yep, and that is that because, yep, because suicide is so prevalent across this country, and that's the educational lesson of today, you guys. Do not I don't want to read any of my fans committing suicide. The coronavirus is tough enough. What we're going through is tough enough. And they say a move, a job loss, and losing a loved one is one of the tough stresses. I've done two of them. I've um, lost a job slash lost a loved one in the same year, then transferred jobs and also lost a loved one in the span of 1 year. And so, and this is without the coronavirus too. And so it's like losing a job is one of the worst things ever. And so please, 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 please reach out to those who love you and just have a shoulder to cry on. Reach out to Mike, reach out to me, reach out to the suicide hotline. And then, Mike, give us that number one more time.
The number for the hotline one more time?
Yes.
1-800-273-8255.
1-800-273-8255. And if you guys have any questions, please reach out to me. You guys know how to do that. You guys know how to reach out to Mike. And Mike, give us your daily routine pre-coronavirus and post-coronavirus.
Ooh, that's a good one. And I do think that one, having a routine is key. Is especially at this time right now, maintaining as much regular norm as you can in a time of very uncertainty and not normal is good for the mind and also the inside the soul. So I start very easily. I get up a little earlier than most, and I do a little physical workout. I get my blood flowing, get my body moving, try to get the endorphins going in my body. And then I do some meditation. I do a lot of grateful meditation because I believe when you put your mind and body in a position of your gifts, you start looking for your gifts, and that makes you look for other gifts, which puts me in the right set of mind to do the work that I'm going to do that day. Then I normally have a little breakfast with my daughter and take her to school. And then I go to the office, and I have an office downtown where I live. And then I normally do a Facebook Live in a couple of groups that I have. I'll do a Facebook Live on my main page. Then I'll start working with clients. Then I'll take like a 2-hour lunch, take a little walk, then eat a little something. To go on with the day. At the end of the day, family dinner. Normally family catch up, see where everybody's at, see what everybody's doing. Some family time, hang out, build a relationship. At the end of the night, I write down things I was thankful for that happened this day, and things I kind of want to focus on tomorrow, so I have some sort of plan already. And then get a good night's rest. I drink a lot of water, but get a good night's rest too.
And that was pre-coronavirus. And now, are you still, you're on lockdown, so you're still not driving into the office?
Yeah, no, I am. I'm driving to the office. The office, we're essential personnel, so the lockdown.
Okay.
So,
but
no one else in the office but me. I drive my daughter here, so she goes in the other room at the office and does like school because they're doing online schooling.
Yes.
And I'll be in my office and doing work in there. So it stays very similar as we could during this.
Well, good. So you guys are essential. I just found out that, thank God I asked this, because I'm like, okay, I need 24-hour care. And part of that care is having an aide come in and help me. And my mom goes, well, my stepmom goes, Win, don't freak out because they are central. And I'm like, yeah, you will look at me like I'm like I'm crazy because she goes, they're essential to you. And I'm like, good point. But anyone that knows me will, and I'll write any medical documentation. I'll say, I'll, and anyone that shows up to my door during this time of need, during this time of craziness, I'll hand them medical documentation. I'll make them look at me up and down because I need aides to come in and help me.
Right.
Even though my stepmom is doing it, and so well, essential. So the people on the essential workforce, be nice to them, including the aides, and be nice to them, and just be nice to people, okay? Just be nice. And to those who are not heeding the warnings, heed those warnings, people, because you're going to take the disabled ship down with you if you don't watch out. So, Mike, as we wrap this interview up, do you have any questions for me?
What's the advice you would give someone during this time to be able to maintain a solution mindset going forward?
What's the advice I would give someone during this time to maintain a solution mindset going forward? And yes, I had to repeat the question because solution mindset. Okay, so here's what I would say. Number one, it will all be okay. Number one, even though we're stuck in social isolation slash shelter in place, it will all be okay. Second of all, figure it out as you go along. Have backup plans. Have every which way backup forward every plan under the sun, and have money in the bank if you can for the rainy day emergency fund. I mean, yeah, so that's how my solution mindset going forward. I mean, I felt people will say, Winnie, you're nuts. When I say this statement, I told my stepmom and my aide that was with me at the time that I didn't want to go skiing this year because I didn't want to do it. I felt in my heart a shift was coming in the universe. And my stepmom equated it to me losing my dad, which recently happened and only happened May. And so she goes, fine, you don't need to go skiing. We can do whatever you want. You're a 32-year-old adult. You don't need to go skiing unless you really want to. But I didn't tell anyone up until a couple weeks ago that I felt that a shift in the universe was coming. Now, granted, I didn't know that it was going to be this big, but I could feel it in my own body and soul. And so that's why I gave up the ski season. And that's why I was ready to take my company online and be a motivational speaker. So that's part of it. When you trust your intuition, the solution mindset will come.
I like it.
And so, Mike, where can people find you if they choose to find you?
They can find me on any social media that you want, but definitely under the Coach Mike Fabber. And
Okay.
Facebook,
So
Instagram,
the coach,
YouTube.
Mike Fabber, and
Yep.
we'll have all Mike's information in the show notes. You guys, I know you guys are sitting at home, and so to those of you who've subscribed to us, when you guys know how to find show notes, and yeah, and making this world a better, happier place for you guys, and heed those warnings, if you can, and just make this world a better, happier place for you guys. Thanks to you guys. Bye, you guys.
You just listened to Ask Win, the podcast. To become a guest in the show, visit our website at askwin.weebly.com or call 816-591-3399. Just look for Danielle. Connect with Win on Twitter at WinKellyCharles and like our Facebook page at Butterflies of Wisdom. You can also purchase Win's book through Amazon.com or get a copy of the audiobook through Audible. Ask Win, the podcast.